The state-of-the-art Crafco SuperShot is one of the most technologically advanced melter applicators available, offering exceptional efficiency and ease of use. The digital control features of this machine accurately regulate the heating temperature of the material, heat transfer oil, and the hose. A patented internal pumping system requires no cleanout, featuring a hydraulic flow rate adjustment. SuperShot melters have no valves, less moving parts, and no hose pressure buildup. With this melter comes a 1-year warranty, more options, and greater safety. The SuperShot is easy to use and one of Crafco's greatest values, featuring high productivity and efficiency. Before attempting to operate the SuperShot melter, read the operation and safety manuals, familiarize yourself with the equipment, and understand all the equipment operation procedures, warnings, and safety guidelines. When operating this equipment, it is important that you always wear a hard hat, ear protection, and because all SuperShot melters operate at high temperatures, always wear protective gloves, eye protection, and proper protective clothing, including long-sleeve shirts, long pants, and proper safety shoes. There are cautions and warnings posted on the equipment, and failure to follow these warnings could cause bodily injury or damage to the equipment. Read the manufacturer's burner operating instructions before attempting to start up or shut down the burners. Always shut down the burner and the engine before attempting to refill the fuel tank. The burner operation instructions are posted on the control box cover. You'll need to calibrate the SuperShot temperature control prior to initial operation and then recalibrate the controls after each 50 hours of operation. To do this, simply line up the dial to the calibration line. Once the equipment has been started, keep hands, feet, and clothing away from all moving parts. Avoid all bodily contact with hot sealant and heat transfer oil. Failure to do so will cause severe and serious burns. It is important not to allow water to enter into any part of the machine. Water will displace oil and sealant, and this reaction could be hazardous when it reaches operating temperature. Never exceed 525 degrees Fahrenheit when setting the heat transfer oil temperature, and do not overfill the oil. After each 500 hours of operation or once a year, whichever comes first, change the heat transfer oil with the manufacturer's recommended heat transfer oil. Check the engine oil level and all fluid levels each day before starting the burner and engine, and also check and tighten all bolts and screws every 100 hours of operation. Replace any hoses that show signs of wear, fraying, or splitting. Check all fittings and joints for tightness and make sure that they're leak-proof. Check all tire lug nuts as per the manual and follow all the pre-start procedures listed in the manual. It is important not to operate the equipment in a closed building or confined area, as the exhaust fumes are harmful if inhaled and could be lethal. The burner should never be left unattended when lit. Keep a fire extinguisher near the unit at all times. Know how to use it and keep it maintained. The SuperShot melter will provide many years of safe operation if all safety procedures and maintenance schedules are followed. Crafco assumes no liability for an accident or injury that is incurred through the improper use of the machine or failure to follow all safety procedures and precautions. The basic startup procedures for the different sizes of SuperShot melters are the same. There will be additional procedures if the machine has options such as the compressor or auto-loader, and for the proper operation of propane-powered units. For propane-powered units, follow the instruction manual. Familiarize yourself with the melter and read the machine and safety manual before starting the melter. Before starting the machine, follow the periodic checklist in the manual. Fill the tank with fuel, referring to the manual for the proper type, and check all the fluid levels. The hydraulic fluid and heat transfer oil level should be checked at ambient temperature. It is important not to overfill any of the fluids. Make sure that all of the toggle switches in the control box are set in the off position, and that both temperature control dials are set at the minimum setting. After these procedures have been completed, the machine is ready to start. Start the engine following the engine startup procedure. Before starting the burner, open the damper vent. Start the burner by turning the toggle switch marked Power to the On position. The burner should ignite. If the burner fails to ignite, follow the troubleshooting procedures listed in the manual. In the control box, set the transfer oil temperature to 500 degrees Fahrenheit and the material temperature dial to the sealant manufacturer's recommended temperature. Allow the heating oil to heat up. When the sealant temperature has reached 275 degrees Fahrenheit, the mixer can be engaged by turning the toggle switch to the on position at the hydraulic control panel. If the mixer does not move, return the switch back to the off position and allow the sealant to heat longer. Please note that the mixer will not engage until the sealant temperature has reached a minimum of 275 degrees Fahrenheit. To load the sealant, simply open the lid. The agitator will automatically stop when the lid is lifted. Then, place a block of sealant onto the lid and close. By following this procedure, you will be using the proper lifting techniques that provide a safe and efficient method to load sealant. Solid sealant blocks must be added at intervals to prevent the mixer from jamming. In addition, if blocks are added too quickly, the melting process will be slowed down. The heated hose on the SuperShot melters will automatically turn on when the sealant temperature reaches 275 degrees Fahrenheit. After the hose turns on, adjust the hose temperature to 380 degrees, or the manufacturer's recommended temperature. The hose will achieve the sealant application temperature in about 30 minutes. A light in the control box marked Hose turns off when the hose has reached the set temperature. When the light goes out, reduce the hose temperature to 360 degrees Fahrenheit. It is highly advisable that you operate the hose at the manufacturer's recommended temperature range. Failure to do so will damage the hose. After the hose and sealant temperatures have been obtained, the machine is ready to dispense material. Remember, the pump will not dispense sealant until the hose temperature reaches 325 degrees Fahrenheit and the pump light is on. Next, turn the pump speed setting to the lowest setting by turning the speed control knob fully counterclockwise. With the wand tip inserted into the shoebox, depress the wand trigger and slowly increase the pump speed by turning the speed control knob clockwise until the pump motor starts to turn. Material should flow from the wand tip. After the sealant begins to flow, adjust the flow rate to the desired application rate. If the sealant fails to dispense, allow the hose to heat a little longer. If it still does not dispense, shut down the machine and follow the troubleshooting procedures in the manual. The SuperShot Sealant Application Wand comes equipped with a disposable duckbill on the end. The duckbill prevents excessive material dripping when the flow of sealant is stopped and will also direct the material into a stream for controlled application. There are additional types of wand tips available. Consult your local distributor for other options. There are important hose precautions that should always be followed. It is important that you observe the following cautions to protect and prolong the life of the heated hose. Leave the hose in the hanger until the pump light is on and dispensing of sealant begins. Do not kink or twist the hose. Avoid sharp bends. Maintain a minimum of a 10-inch bend radius. Do not exceed a 400 degree Fahrenheit hose temperature setting. Do not move or bend the hose when it is cold. Do not leave the hose on for prolonged periods without dispensing sealant. Do not remove the hose from the boom during operation or the hose will kink. To further help prevent the hose from twisting or kinking, it is recommended that the hose be stored in the hanger when not in use and when in transit. When shutting down the melter, we recommend that you leave the melter about half full of material. This provides a quicker and more rapid heat-up rate in the morning. For the shutdown procedure, follow these steps. Increase pump speed to full and then reverse the pump for at least 30 seconds. After the pump has run in reverse for approximately 30 seconds, decrease the pump speed to minimum speed and turn the power toggle switch in the control box to the off position. Return the hose to the hanger as per the transport decal instructions on the unit and then turn off the engine. After the melter has been shut down, remember to store the machine where moisture cannot enter the heating system oils or controls. If moisture is suspected in the heating transfer oil, warm the transfer oil to 300 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 to 3 hours to evaporate the moisture. There are a number of options available for the SuperShot melter. These options include the auto loader, compressor, router carrier, a wide hitch selection, tail light plug selection, toolbox, sealant tips and nozzles, fire extinguisher, cab brake control, light bar, pour pot, engine cover, overnight heater, custom paint, and the spare tire option. The autoloader, compressor, and router carrier options are only available for the SuperShot 125 and 250-gallon melter. Contact Crafco or your local Crafco distributor for details on these options, manual, operating instructions, and ordering information. The Crafco SuperShot melter will provide you with years of safe operation and productive service when the preceding instructions are carefully adhered to. If you have any questions regarding the operation or maintenance of the Crafco SuperShot melter, contact your local Crafco distributor or call Crafco at 1-800-528-8242. You can also visit our website at www.crafco.com.